everybody, MTG Dad back for another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little different, going to be focused on the new Star Wars Unlimited card game that came out about a month ago. I've been really enjoying this game. It has a lot of similarities to Magic and Hearthstone, and this is one of my favorite decks so far. It's called Boba Cunning. So this has 2 Cunning units and 1 Villainy unit, I think is what it's called. Still learning the names of all these things. So this plays very similar to Boba Green in some ways, but then in other ways it is much different. So Cunning is like the card that makes this deck go round. It is an amazing card, and it's the centerpiece of this deck. And any game where you get Cunning, like your odds of winning are just so much better. And it's such a dominant force. So basically, it gives you the option to get to choose 2 options. This is on turn 3. Return a non-leader unit with 4 or less power to its owner's hand, so basically a Waylay effect. Give a unit +4, which is insane. Exhaust up to 2 units, which is also insane. And then an opponent can discard a random card from their hand, which is good when your opponent gets down to like 1 card. Or 2 cards even. If, later stages in the game, that one's more effective in my opinion. But this card is absolutely nuts mainly because of exhaust 2 and +4. So that's what you're going to be doing most of the time, is exhausting your opponent's units and then just swinging in for +4, which is usually about 7 damage because a lot of our creatures have 3 power. So we have Boba Fett with 3 power. We have Bodhi Rook with 3 power. We have the 7th Fleet Defender, wherever it's at, with 3 power. So that's usually the cards that I target as a +4. Occasionally it'll be Boba Fett, the leader. So you're swinging it for 8 damage. There's definitely some times where I'll play Cunning, exhaust 2 units, +4 my Boba Fett. Then at that point I have 6 units, or 6 resources, let's say, and then I play Surprise Strike on the Boba Fett and swing in for 11 damage, which is absolutely nuts. So, the way that this deck plays out is on your turn 4, which is your Boba turn. Basically, you want to play, a combination of these 3 5-drops, the Bossk, the Cantina, or the Syndicate Lackeys. Each of them have uses that are very good. Cantina is really, really good. This card is very similar to Cunning in the fact that it really, really does a good job of just like giving you a leg up and taking over the game. So like a turn 3 Cunning and a turn 4 Cantina into Boba is just nuts. They're not going to recover from that. They're just not. So basically, let's say I went the more tempo route and didn't go as aggressive. Let's say I exhaust 2 units and bounce another creature that they were coming really aggressive at me. Following turn, I take the initiative back because that's easy to do when you're playing Cunning. Then I Cantina bounce their biggest threat. Then I flip over Boba, and then it's like, good luck. And then in our version we're playing Bounty Hunter Crew, which I have not seen most people play this, but I really like this card because it's kind of like the finisher, right? It's in a way. So it not only does it have ambush, which is good because we can use it just as a kill spell in itself, and get 2 for 1 value. But when we play it, we're getting our Cunning back into our hand or our Surprise Strike back into our hand, which those are the cards that give us a huge advantage. So basically, Fett's Firespray is still better 99% of the time. But this card has so many uses. And actually, you can infinite loop Bounty Hunter Crew and Cunning, where you play Bounty Hunter Crew, get back Cunning, and then you play Cunning and you return a non-leader unit with 4 or less power, which is Bounty Hunter Crew, to your hand as one of the options that you choose in Cunning, and probably, exhaust up to 2 units, or +4, for example. So that's a really cool thing that's come into play one time since I played it. But once I figured that out, I was like, oh my goodness. So the reason that I'm going with this card here is I think our aggro matchup is so good that we don't really need this to be like an RTST, which is on the sideboard, which is what card is usually in this slot. I definitely think you could play that way, or play a Swoop Racer as a 3-drop just to have more pressure, because we are an aggressive deck still. But for me, I really like having this card in here. It just gives me options, and then at any matchup where I don't, it's not useful, I'm just gonna resource it. So it's an easy choice as a resource. So it's very extreme. Like in some matchups, it's extremely good. Other matchups, it's a resource, easy choice. And then occasionally, it's still good for ambushing, just to take something out. But so for those reasons, I think I'm really enjoying it right now. But I do want to see how it tests out, and today we're going to be testing it out against AI, which is, you know, it's still good to test, but AI doesn't always play optimally. But yeah, so just to kind of do a quick rundown of the list, we play 3 Greedo as a 1-drop and as, a source of removal and early pressure, depending on what we're playing against. Crafty Smuggler is great just because of its shield, and it's a good turn 1 play. Viper Probe Droid is really good against Aggro because of its 3 power, and we just get to get an idea. So it's really nice to play Viper Probe Droid into Body Rook, because if we see that they have events in their hand, then we're definitely going to take them with Body Rook, which this card has been surprisingly good. There's definitely matchups like where they're creature heavy, where this card is just kind of like a body and that's it. But there's a lot of matchups where we're removing like their waylays, they're no good to me dead, their resupplies. So it's a really, really good card. And if we already know what's in their hand and we know we're gonna get some values, then it makes it even better. Obviously we play 3 Boba Fett just because this card is really, really good. Bossk, we're playing 2 of in this version as opposed to 3 in the Boba Green version. And the reason for that is that Cantina Bouncer is absolutely nuts for this tempo playing that we're doing with the double yellow. This card, like I said, you go turn 3 Cunning, turn 4 Cantina, and flip Boba, and then you go turn 5 um, Fett's Firespray. Like that's the insane um, 3, 4, 5 turn right there. And that's pretty much. I think one game I did get that. I think I beat AI 30-0. Like where I just like tempoed them to death, and then just like went bonkers on those 3 turns, and they just won the game. And that was who was that against? Again, we're talking about AI, so it's not like anything to be proud of. But 30-0, where they didn't even do a single damage to me, is pretty insane. Cartel Spacer in our flying units is another card that just bounces things or exhausts things. I'm sorry. And then we have Shield with 7 Fleet Defender and Fett's Firespray to finish things off. Shoot First is really nice for cheap one resource removal. And then we have No Good to Me Dead and Waylay as our events that kind of continue our tempo play. Surprise Strike is how we're aggressive, and then Cunning is tempo plus aggressive. So just the centerpiece of this deck. But I hope you guys enjoy this content, and let's get into some games against AI to see how this. Okay, so this first game I wanted to show how Boba Cunning does against Sabine. No mulligan here. Anytime we have Cunning, that's usually means we're going to win the game. So turn 1, I think we want to play Greedo. Turn 2, we play No Good to Me Dead. No, let's go this way. I want to have more creatures. So we're still an aggro deck. Okay. Is he ambushing? No. We're going to ambush him. I mean, not ambush, but we're going to kill his Marine before it can get counters or anything else. I don't really need the Cartel Spacer here. So Bossk is really good against them. But we're going to go ahead and just... Just go face. I mean, the part of the advantage here is too is that we have higher health than them, so they still have to like pace us out, right? that's why I want to keep playing creatures. Cunning in a way as a creature, it's like swinging in for 4 damage with a creature, essentially, right? So we exhaust their creatures next turn, which I don't know why. There you go. Yeah. So we have the Bounty Hunter, which is actually pretty sweet. So we're gonna hold on to that, so we can get one of the Cunnings back. So I think what we want to do here is give this +4, and then we're gonna exhaust both of these. Yeah, so wish to units exhaust, boom, boom. That +4. Okay, Sabine, sure, whatever. We can go ahead and attack. No. Attack with the +4 and get in force 7, which is nuts. And this is what I mean. Like, look at the life differential here. Yeah. Yeah. That was an incredible turn for us. And now we can just play Bossk or Cunning again. And then we get to flip Boba. Okay, so because they just put out 2 more 2-drops, we are going to play Cunning here. Just to, like, mess up their board state. So I don't think we need another Defender. Although we can kind of... Yeah, so my thinking there is we can hit him in the air. And we don't have to deal with this guy. So we're going to do the same thing. I think we're going to send back something this turn, though. Yeah. So here, they have 4 creatures to our 2, essentially. We could Bossk in, kill 1, and then get a resource back with Boba, play a Fleet Defender, so we could have 4 creatures, and to play Cunning next turn. That feels pretty good. So let's do that. Yeah. Yes. Because Bossk lives, which is good. Because of its 5 health points. Okay. So then we attack here. I cannot... I don't know why my game is doing this right now. Rebel Assault is pretty good for them. Okay, we're gonna deploy the leader. Yeah, we should have game next turn because we're just gonna hit him in the face right now. They're gonna have initiative, or they should. I mean, I'm gonna play this Fleet Defender unless they have another 2-drop. Yeah, okay. So here we just... Oh yes, we have Surprise, Strike, and Cunning. So it's a very good hand. We also have the Bounty Hunter crew to get back a Cunning, but in this particular case we don't need that. So he swings in with that one. So basically all we do here, we don't even need to do the plus damage. We can even Surprise Strike. So we're gonna just exhaust 2 and return a leader with power 4 less. So we're gonna exhaust here, here, return that. Which unit to do 2 damage to, because of Bossk's awesome ability. And then we're going to get to Surprise Strike and kill off the Marine, which is insane, and also win the game. So because they had so many creatures, we didn't get to do the +4, but it doesn't matter. Because we're just going to win anyways. Which target, we're just going to win the game. Boom. So that is an example of how well we do against aggro. And that's typically how these games go. Okay, so this is versus a first place Darth Vader list that won a pretty big tournament recently. So Control, in my opinion, is the tougher matchup. So the way we win this is to be more aggressive. So really right now what I'm doing is I'm testing out the Bounty Hunter to see if it helps this matchup or if it's like helpful at all. Because it's not great in the aggro matchup, for, as you saw from the game before. Like, it's too slow. The game's usually over by the time I can even play that card, and usually I just want to play Fett's Firespray over Bounty Hunter anyways. But in Control, the theory is that the game's going to take a little longer because they're going to have so much removal that getting back a Cunning or a Surprise Strike is going to be huge from a Bounty Hunter. And you can actually even infinite loop Bounty Hunter where you return it after you play the Cunning and then just kind of keep going. So we'll see if that plays out this game. We have a Body Rook, which is a really good card against Control because I'm sure they have events in their hand. So we're going to look at their hand and then Body Rook. So no mulligan here. Cunning also is really good. No good to me, Dead's not that good against them. 2-1. Okay. Look at their hand, see what's over there. Force Throw is a good one to get with Body Rook. Okay. Okay. We're going to take the initiative since they did that. Yeah, the cool thing about this deck, the more you play it, especially this version, is like you can hold on to the initiative, you know, pretty well. Here's the Bounty Hunter. So because we got the Bounty Hunter, I'm going to get rid of the Surprise Strike because that is not that useful at the moment. And we literally have the cards that I want. So 3, 4, 5, 6 is our next few turns. First thing we're going to do is attack so they can't kill us with Vader. Just because that's an ability. Attacks, that's fine. Now we're going to play Body Rook, which is a awesome card. A 3/3 that discards cards from their hand. I don't know what this card is. I don't know why my game is doing this right now. Okay, so didn't matter, that was the only card. Okay. And then we're gonna take the initiative. So one of the two cards that we get was definitely Binning, which is gonna be no good to me dead, I think. Double Cunning is just nuts here. So what we do here is we hope that they don't have a removal. But we just take our chance, right? So we're going to exhaust 2 units, and we could discard a card from their hand. It doesn't seem like the worst thing ever. It's random. Yeah, let's go the discard route. Let's see. I mean, most of the time we're going to choose like the +4 route. Remember, initiative and Cunning again, but this time I think we're going to do it differently because this is our Boba turn. We're going to keep the Surprise Strike. This one is actually not bad. Cantina Bouncer is good too. I'm trying to think what we're going to... If we play Cunning here, what are we doing next? We get the Defender out or the Surprise Strike? Or we can Cantina Bouncer. Yeah, let's do Cunning into either 7 Fleet Defender or Surprise Strike. Oh, don't want to do that. We want to have more creatures, but we're about to play another Cunning here. Or a Cantina Bouncer. Sorry, this is a tough choice. I think we get rid of this. It is good against them right now, though. It's just a bouncer. It's too expensive. Okay, so what's the card we want to send back? Probably not that card. Boom, boom. Send that back. Yeah. I guess we could have sent this back because they don't have another ground unit. Would have been the smarter choice, but you know. Could surprise strike here, get in for 6. Doesn't feel bad. I think we're just going to go for 3. Again, we just want to be aggressive with this thing. Okay. 2 damage, yep. He's got 3 mana left. Play this leader. I don't know what that is. I cannot see it. Why is it really doesn't want me to see that card today? Okay, 4 damage is a lot. Just gonna go face. Definitely should have surprise strike, but I kind of want to get this down just because it's a card that can take care of their flyers. We're at 5. Shoot first is really good because it does damage before. Do we want Bounty Hunter? Or we can just wait a turn and not have to resource anything. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Because I don't want to resource Bounty Hunter. Okay, this needs to go. So this is 5 damage. Yeah, we need to kill that right now. Yep. Back to 5. Okay, it's fine. We're gonna attack with this and kill this. Yeah. Okay. That's the Rook, that's fine. I guess I could have attacked with that, that would have been smart, right? Play Boba. Okay. So we take initiative. We're gonna resource 1, play surprise strike, and then play Bounty Hunter most likely. Or we could just play Waylay and Cartel. Yeah, so this is another situation where like, alright, well, I want to play Bounty Hunter this turn, so we're just gonna do it. Okay, so we're gonna play Surprise Strike. Swing in with the guy that has 4 damage. In case they have a way to kill him. Hit for 7. Vader's not great. Okay, we can attack now. Here. Remove something from the board. Resource. Didn't get a resource. We totally played that wrong. Okay. Just go face. Wait, cancel. Let's play this card. And do that. I cannot see these cards. I don't know what's going on with this thing right now. Okay, Stormtrooper. He's still got 5 resources, so I'm assuming he's going to play something else. Okay. Yeah, we totally, did a wacky job there. Get rid of Greedo. We're at 7. Yeah, I definitely misplayed this game a few times. I think we just want to go in and get our attacks in before they can do anything about it. Just, yeah, unfortunately we're not benefiting from this, but it's so close to dying at any time, so. Not sure why they're doing that. But, you know, that's what happens when you play against AI. But to be fair, we made multiple mistakes that game. But kind of, you know, the general idea here is just to be super aggressive. And Body Rook is really good at getting rid of early removal and just putting pressure on them, which is what it did this game. The Viper Droid is good so I can see what's in their hand, as long as the cards don't glitch out. And then the Cunning was really, really useful at like just tempoing them out. The discard was kind of silly. We probably should have just done +4, but just wanted to see. We're going to be playing against a Hans ramp here next. This is my version of this deck, so it plays a ton of 3-drops and like R2-D2 and C-3PO and Millennium Falcon and Surprise Strike and U-Wing and Reinforcement to kind of get all that stuff. So it's a very aggressive deck and it can really pop off. No, I think I like this hand. Body Rook is like okay. We could see their hand first. I think we're still going to play it. Alright, so we are going to start off with Greedo. If they want to ambush, they can make the trade. Yep. It's fine. And we will say yes, nope. Didn't get it, that's okay. Yeah, Urza's really cool too. So I would say this is one of our tougher matchups too. Yeah, I definitely want to keep that. Waylay is pretty good here too. It just... I kind of want to see if they have ramp. Yeah, let's go there. They're just like playing out their whole hand, huh? Which is why we want to keep this card too, in case they did keep a card, which they did. Okay, so they have a Falcon, which is fine. Just gonna do 1 damage to this? No. Let's just go face. They have emptied their hand, so Cunning is gonna be like pretty bonkers here. So yeah, if we top deck a Cunning here, we're just gonna be in very good shape. Got a Waylay. So Waylay's not bad. Yeah, we can kill this multiple ways. I think we're just gonna play Boba Fett though. And next turn we play Bossk. Okay, let's go ahead and just kill this thing. Especially because we have, basically at this point we have hand advantage, and that's one of the weaknesses of this deck. And I'm sure AI is not playing it perfect. So, yeah. That's not the greatest. I don't think there's a reason we want to give them the initiative and allow them to gain life. And just so we can get in for 1 damage, that doesn't seem smart. There's Gianni. Okay, so Bossk or Waylay. I think we're gonna get rid of Bossk here. I think Cunning is gonna be too nuts here on our Boba Fett turn, and then we can still play Waylay. So what we're gonna do is exhaust both these units and discard a card from their hand because they only have one card. So this is kind of our swing turn, and that was a good card to get rid of too. And then we get Fett's Firespray down, and we flip the script. Okay. We don't need another Boba. Okay, they swing in for 3. That's cool. We'll go ahead and play Boba. They have initiative, so they do gain some health back. So we're gonna take that card out. Just because it poses the biggest threat right now because of the health that it's getting back every turn. Now he could trade us with Falcon. Three, 5. We just go face here and trade him? Yeah. I think we're just outpacing him now. Yep. Yeah. Actually, could see myself drawing a card here, but ambush. Nice. That was a very good card to top deck. At least we got rid of their health. So we're gonna play this and draw 2. Yeah. Okay. I think we want to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that's not good. What a top deck. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was a resource they discarded. Okay. We're gonna wait. I can't waylay Han. We can ambush Han though. Is he swinging it for 4? We have what? 7, 8. Let's ambush Han. Get her cunning back. He swings in for 4. Which isn't great. We're gonna attack here. Waylay the Boba, okay. Get back the Boba. No? Oh, an enemy unit didn't leave, that's right. Alright, we're gonna take the initiative. So we can cunning and win the game. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because we have game. So this is where, I mean, this was a close one. These games always get close because of that card that he just discarded from his resource pile. Again, I don't think AI played this perfectly, but exhaust 2 units and give ourselves +4. Oh, if that had ambush, that would have been bad. But he already used his ambush early. And yeah, so those always come down to the wire. Um, but I would say we have card advantage, and then we have more buffs, and then cunning is just nuts. So that particular game is an example of why Bounty Hunter is nuts, because that's literally what won us the game. So in that particular case, it put damage on Han to set up Han getting killed, got back the cunning, we took the initiative, won the game because of cunning. Yeah, and we wanted to be able to win in one attack. So when we didn't have any of those other cards in our hand either, the surprise strikes. So well, that was a good one. It's close. So here we're gonna be playing against Boba Fett, and this is my Fett list. It's a pretty standard list. Nothing too crazy in there. Take a mulligan. No, we have Cunning and Fett's Firespray. So get rid of one Cartel, one Waylay, I think. I mean, we gotta, our advantage when we play against this deck is that we have more health, right? So by having more health, nice. I do not need that. Cunning is nuts too. Cunning is also the card that takes us over the top against them and swings the game. Let's play Body Rook and see if we can find any. Yeah, surprise strike or no good to me dead. Wow, they had a lot of stuff. This is actually really tough. Yeah, that's like a board wipe though, so that's another card that gives you a little bit of the edge there. They have a handful of removal, huh? And then one consortium. Cool. Actually do this so we can play the Guild Fighter. Because we're going to get one resource with Boba. From Cunning. Did we just go for 7 damage? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Well, that's not great. We knew they had that. It's okay. We have another one. Play a card. Exhaust both units. Yeah. Because of the situation, that is the best choice. I mean, that doesn't do anything. Action ability, I guess. Okay. Attack. Face. Sure. Whatever. Take initiative. I could have played a 1-drop there, couldn't I have? It's fine. We have a Fett's Firespray. Wow. They have 5 creatures to R1. Exciting stuff. Exciting, exciting, exciting stuff. Just kill Boba here? I think so. Fett's Firespray versus everything. Is it enough? I definitely want to kill some of these things. Just, yeah, let's just start taking them out. Resupply, okay. It's fine. It's a close one. How much mana do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6. And get rid of one of these. I think. I want a Cantina. And get rid of the cart. No, not the cartel. That's a bad choice. Maybe this. We could also surprise strike for 8, which feels pretty good. Let's play that. Just to kind of get some damage on the board. Fett's Firespray versus everything. Okay, now we're going to play Cantina. Get rid of that. We'll play a TIE Fighter. Sure. Okay, Greedo. Sure. Take the initiative. Okay. We got 5, 6, 9 damage on the board. Another Cantina's really good. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we can get rid of Greedo here. I think we're just racing now. And then using Cantina. Wait. Let's actually attack here. And kill that. Take that off the board. Okay, it's going face, that's fine. Playing Cantina. Send that back. Playing 7th Street Defender. Okay. Now we're in good shape. This was not an easy one at all, though. Since the only thing we have left to attack is with that, we're just going to take the initiative. So that they can't heal. And then if we... yeah, they can't do 11 damage. So... I think we just attack here. Definitely a tough matchup. Of course, it's the, considered the best deck in format for a reason. And that's why I attacked with Fett's Firespray. Yep. Barrage is crazy, but wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. That was a close one. But yeah, here's the list again. I still think it needs more testing, but there's definitely some games where Bounty Hunter Crew felt good. And like I said, I feel like our aggro match is just strong enough where I'm not too worried about not having a 4-drop. And I have enough ways to deal with that on turn 4, like if I get one of these cards or a Cunning. I mean, a no good to me dead, a shoot first, any of this stuff, any of these events on turn 4 is really good. So I don't miss the Frontier AT RT, which I still play it in the side, but I don't think it's like a main board. And I'm not even sure if you need it in the side. It might just be the 4/3 swooper. I can't remember what it's called. Um, as the better sideboard card here instead of the frontier. It's just I think it comes down to preference. Like I really like what this card does in those games that take longer, and I feel like our aggro matchup is so good that I'm not feeling like it, and even in that match, if I get it, I'm just gonna resource it. So it's like whatever. It just becomes a resource. So that doesn't feel like a downside to playing this card, because otherwise the deck runs very smoothly. Because the upside here is I get back Surprise Strike, I get back +3/0, or I get back a Cunning and exhaust 2 units and then +4. I mean, it's just nuts. So to me, it's worth it if the game lasts that long, which I would imagine when you're playing against in competitive play, that the games are going to start to take longer because people are going to have, know how to play these matchups better as the game evolves and the meta evolves. So to me, Bounty Hunter Crew is just where I want to be with this list. Overall, this list is very, very good. I think it's right behind Boba Green. I mean, I feel like that matchup is very close, but so far, again, I mean, this is against AI, so in just best of one, not best of three, it's gone well. So to me, this is the one I would play. I love the tempo of this deck. I love Cunning. Cunning is so good. Like that card alone is what makes me want to play this deck. Like just having options on your third turn to do all these different things to +4 a unit is insane. Because I mean, that's like 7 damage. With so many units in your deck, you have 3 power. So you're doing 7 damage on turn 3, which is just a huge swing in tempo. And then on top of that, you're exhausting 2 of their units so they can't even attack in. This card hands down wins you the game. Any game where you get this card, your chances of winning have just vastly increased. Um, as far as like any other changes, I'm not sure. When you're playing these colors, there's not a lot of options right now with the card pool, like to fit in that uh that other slot I was talking about. Like if there becomes a better card that's a 4 resource card that's just like really, really good that you can't leave it out, then I'll definitely take this card out because it is slower. But like I said, most games I'm just resourcing it. It gives me just like an easy resource, but then the games where it's relevant, it's very relevant. So I like it. But that's personal preference. I know most people play this in the main board, but I do things my way, so that's just me. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay in the video. I'm still learning this game, so we're kind of learning together. I just wanted to put out some content because I really enjoy this game. I really like, you know, for a lot of my viewers that are like Magic players, like this feels like a pseudo commander deck, right? Or like Brawl kind of on Arena. So, you know, you're getting to flip over your creature at a certain point or your unit at a certain point, and then there's still a lot of gameplay. This to me feels like Dimir mid range, like the way this deck plays. Like I'm bouncing their creatures constantly. I'm out tempoing them. I'm still an aggressive deck. Like and Dimir mid range is one of my favorite decks in Magic. And if you love Star Wars like I do, like this is a legit game. It's so much fun. I really like how you don't get mana screwed in this game. Like the resources are already there, and you're just choosing which cards you flip over to counter as a resource, which is I think it fixes that problem of like you know just getting screwed over by not having enough resources to play your cards, which is just bad luck or a bad algorithm on Arena. Um, I really like, the interactions that these cards have with one another. The ambush effect is cool. The +3s and +4s, the shoot first as a kill spell. Like this is a really fun game, and I definitely think, just try it out on Force Table. You go to Swudby and build a deck or copy a deck if you want to learn how to play, and then just mess around with it on Force Table. Just to kind of give you an idea, like I have a bunch of decks on here. Most of them are either ones that I built or are ones that recently did well. So I test against those for right now until we get an actual online platform that's legitimate for the game. This is a really good way to just test and decide if you like the game. So, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll definitely be doing some more of these soon. I've been really enjoying this game, and it's been a nice break from Magic, to be honest, to play something else. But y'all have a good one. Peace.